Happy morning, children. Welcome to Blue Stars High Secondary School online classes. Today you have your class for Standard 10 and your subject is English. Okay, so we have completed 5 units so far, and today we are going to see the unit 6. Okay, the poem part which we are going to concentrate today. So this is a memory poem. Okay, so listen carefully and read it. Okay, read it now. Then and there you have to read it. Only then it will be easy for you to memorize it. Okay, children. Okay, are you all ready with your books? Shall we start the class? Yes. So, what is the name of the poem? No Men Are Foreign. Okay, the author is James Kirkup. Okay, so No Men Are Foreign. That is the name of the poem. Now, let's see about the author and what are the creations he has done. What is his work? Okay, so James Falconer Kirkup, he was born on 23rd April 1918 and he was died on 10th May 2009. He was a prolific English poet, a translator, and travel writer. He wrote over 30 books, including autobiographies, novels, and plays. Okay. He became a fellow of the Royal Society of Literature in 1962. After writing simple verses and rhymes from the age of 6 and the publication of his first poetry book. What is his first poetry book? The Drowned Sailor. So he started writing from the age of 6 itself. Okay. So he did his first poetry book in 1947. Kirkup's published works encompassed several dozen collections of poetry, 6 volumes of autobiography, over 100 monographs of original work and translations, and thousands of shorter pieces in journals and periodicals. Okay, so he has just done everything. See here, he has just done biographies, autobiographies, and then translations. Okay, and travel writer means journals and periodicals. Okay, he is skilled in writing haiku and tanga, is acknowledged internationally. So he is also a haiku writer. Okay, you know haiku poems, right? Many of his poems recalled his childhood days in the Northeast and are featured in such publications as The Sense of the Visit to the North, to the Ancestral North, Throwback, and Shields Sketches. These are some of his publications. His hometown of South Shields, so he belonged to South Shields, okay, now holds a growing collection of his work in Central Library, and artifacts from his time in Japan are housed in the nearby museum. His last volume of poetry was published during the summer of 2008 by Red Squirrel Press and was launched at a special event at Central Library in South Shields. So he was born in South Shields, and that is where many of his publications were done. Okay, this is about the author. Who is the author? Yes, Kirkup. Understood? So yes, James Falconer Kirkup. Clear? Now about the poem. What they are telling about the poem is no men are foreign. That is the title of the poem, isn't it? So it's they're telling about the brotherhood, okay, the manhood. Why we should have a bonding with other man. The poem "No Men Are Foreign" is a poem written by James Falconer Kirkup. States that no man is foreign or strange. Foreign means strange. Okay, no man is different. Okay, all are equal, and we should not regard anyone as foreign or strange. We should not treat them as a different person. The poem revolves around the idea that all men are equal. Okay, though they are separated by boundaries, there is no difference between men of different nations. So, what is this? Though they are, I mean, we belong to India and then some other nations, okay, that I mean, Australians are there, Americans are there, Canadians are there, Pakistanis are there. Okay, though we are separated by boundaries, we should not see the difference that they belong to a different country or a different nation, and this difference should be, yes, completely destroyed. Understood? That is the main theme of the poem. Why? Because during the war time, it will be a very tough time, isn't it? They would have faced the war and all. So it was they are, after the during the war time they were feeling very difficult, isn't it? They could not get the food or all those things. And when the war ends, when there is no war, there will be very peaceful. So the poet feels, if this war is happening because of the land, mainly because of the land only, isn't it? So all the men are fighting for the land. So this belongs to me, that belongs to me, isn't it? So that should be overcome. So if men thought that all are equal and a nation as one, then there will be no war at all, isn't it? So now let's see some of the glossary. Condemn. Condemn is express complete disapproval. Labor is hard work, Betray is disloyal, okay, not true. Defile is damage the purity or appearance, completely damaging it, okay. Outrage is anger, actually, extremely strong reaction of anger or shock here. Now let's get into the first stanza, okay. So the first stanza is, so this first stanza talks about oneness of journey. So what is this oneness of journey? Oneness of journey means like we have to we are in this world, isn't it? And we have to travel together as a one nation. Okay, that is oneness. Oneness of, so, this first paragraph, we are just going to see why the poet asks us to have this oneness. Oneness means a unique thing, okay? Completely, we have to travel as a one person, okay? Oneness of journey, because we are all born in the earth, isn't it? So, there is no discrimination between men and the nations. We should not feel that discrimination. We should feel everyone as our brothers and sisters. So, see here, remember, no men are strange, no countries are foreign. Understood? So, what the poet is telling? So, remember, no men are strange, no men are different. So, no countries are foreign. There is no countries which is the different nation, which we should think as a different nation. All the men are equal, just like us, and all the men are the same like us, and all the countries are like our country only. Understood? So remember, no men are strange, no countries foreign. Understood? Beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. So we may wear different types of cloths. Understood? And you could see the soldiers who is, because the soldiers are the ones who are fighting for us in the borders, isn't it? They will be wearing different types of uniforms. Our Indian soldiers will have different types of uniforms, and similarly, the Pakistan soldiers or the different soldiers, isn't it? The European or the American soldiers. So each one have their own uniforms, the color, different colors of uniforms. But inside that uniform, everybody have the same body and the same way they will breathe. Isn't it? Only the uniform differs, but what the persons are the same only. Understood? So beneath all uniforms, a single body breathe. Okay, like us, the land our brothers walk upon. So what is this? So the land also the same only. So only the uniform is differing. Other than that, the body and the land are all same, just like ours. Okay, just like our land and how we are. Living here, just like that. Even that soldiers will also have the same lifestyle over there. Is earth like this in which we all shall lie? So what is this? The earth is common to everyone. Okay, so just like that, after we finish our day's work, we'll be going to rest in the earth only, isn't it? Once we die, we'll be buried in the earth only. So just like for us, how the earth is, how we are utilizing the earth, the same way the other person belonging to other nations will also do. So there is no difference. We should not feel that difference between the men and the nations. Understood? See here, remember, no men are strange, no countries foreign. Beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. Like us, the land our brothers walk upon is earth like this. So, our brothers is also walking in the earth, the same earth which we are walking. in which we all shall lie, which means after our death, we all will be buried in the same earth only, just like us. So, why are you finding difference between the nations and the men? Understood? See the explanation part, children. This poem is written by James Kirkup. This poem gives us the message of universal brotherhood of man, just like I told you in the theme, isn't it? The poet says that we should not regard other countries as foreign. We all are citizens of the same world, okay? People of different countries wear different kinds of clothes, but under their different clothing, the human body is the same everywhere, okay? So, do you understand this? Okay, children. Now let's go to the second stanza. So, second stanza, the first stanza talks about oneness of journey, isn't it? How we have to travel in this world, isn't it? The second stanza talks about the oneness of efforts. Why should we put effort to be in a brotherhood? Okay, they too aware of sun and air and water. So see here, they too aware of sun and air and water. What is this? They also have the same sun, the same air, the same water, isn't it? So we are utilizing air for breathing, so water for drinking, and we are getting sunlight. The same sunlight they are also getting, and they are using the air for breathing and water for drinking. They are fed by peaceful harvest, by war's long winter starved. What is this? When the place is very peaceful, when there is no war at all, how the place will be very peaceful and pleasant, isn't it? During that time, we have good food to eat, good harvest we have. But when there is a war, we will not have any food to eat, and we have to starve of. Okay, we have to just starve. Okay, what is starving? Without food. We have to struggle without the food. So, see here, are fed by peaceful harvest, by war's long winter starve. Understood? Their hands are ours and their lines we read. So, what is this? Just like we have hands and we have the lines in the hands, isn't it? People used to see the lines and they will say or predict our future, isn't it? We would have gone no to the astrologers and all. They will just see the hands and the lines in our hands, isn't it? And they will just predict our future. So what we will do in the future and all. So just like we, they also have hands and they also have lines in their hands which decide their futures. A labor not different from our own. So just like us, so we have different types of work, isn't it? From morning when you wake up, we have different types of work to do. And just like that, even other men also have the same sort of working, the working nature. Okay, so different types of labor they also have. See here, they too aware of sun and air and water are fed by peaceful harvest, by war's long winter starved. Their hands are ours, and in their lines we read, a labor not different from our own. Okay, so this is oneness of efforts. See here the explanation part. The earth on which people from different countries walk is the same. People of different countries feel the sun, air, and water just as we do. So during peace time, all the countries flourish. They have a lot of food. Okay, the plenty of food is there. So they'll have a very good time. During the war time, all countries suffer from shortage of food and other difficulties. Okay, children. Now, let's go to the third stanza. So, what is this third stanza is about? Oneness of emotions. Understood? So, what is this oneness of emotions? Yeah. Remember, they have eyes like ours that wake, or sleep and strength that can be won by love. In every land is common life that all can recognize and understand. So, what is this? Remember, they have eyes like us that wake. So, what is the poet telling actually? All men are equal, no man is different, isn't it? So, first he says, yeah, we should not treat anybody as a different person. We should have everyone as the same. Okay, all the nation as the same, isn't it? Then he says like they have the same sun, water, air, everything, just like us. So now he's telling they are having the same like the eyes just like ours. Okay, so we will also sleep and we will also wake up, isn't it? So just like we do, even the men belong to other nation, they will also sleep, they will also wake up. Okay, they will have their eyes to wake up or sleep. Okay, and strength that can be won by love, isn't it? So what is this strength that can be won by love means? So love can win everything, isn't it? If if you love your mom, surely, so you will be your whatever mistakes you are doing can be overcome by the love shown by your mom and dad, your parents, right? Yes. So there is nothing in the world which we cannot win by love. So just like the one which the love which we practice, then men belong to other nations. They will also have the same practice of love. Okay. See here. So, sleep and strength that can be won by love. In every land is common life that all can recognize and understand. So, what is he saying? So, what is there to fight? All have the same common life, isn't it? So, we have to recognize that we have the same common life wherever we go, and we should understand that first. If you understand itself, half of the problem will be over, isn't it? So, see here. Remember, they have eyes like us that wake. Understood? Or sleep and strength that can be won by love. Just join together and read it. Okay? See here. And the strength that can be won by love. In every land is common life that all can recognize and understand. Okay, children. So this is the oneness of emotions. Okay, so emotions, understood. So first thing we saw about oneness of journey, then oneness of efforts, now oneness of emotions. Clear? Now see the explanation part. Remember that human beings all over the world have similar eyes, just like same. Okay, same eyes everyone have. They also wake and sleep as we do. They are strong and powerful like ourselves, just like us. So they can be won by love. There is a bond which unites all the nations of the world. Each one of us understands and recognizes this bond. We have to understand and recognizes this bond. Okay, okay, children. Fine. We'll go to the fourth stanza. Okay, so what is fourth stanza says? See, let us remember whenever we are told to hate our brothers, it is ourselves that we shall disposes, betray, condemn. Remember, we who take arms against each other. So sometimes we may told like we may be very angry with the other nations, okay, the persons who belong to other nations. So let us remember whenever we are told, which means, so now remember when you are told to hate our brothers, it is ourselves that we shall disposes, betray and condemn, which means if you are trying to hate others, if you are trying to dispose others, if you are trying to cheat everyone, or if you are trying to betray, okay, any condemn anyone, it is ourselves which we are doing it to ourselves. We are not actually betraying the other person. We are cheating ourselves, we are lying to ourselves. Whatever we are trying to do to others, it is just like we are doing it to ourselves. Okay, if you are hating our brothers, it is like hating ourselves. Brothers here in the sense refers to other men. Understood? If you are trying to hate them, it is just like hating ourselves. Okay. So let us remember whenever we are told to hate our brothers, it is ourselves that we shall dispose, betray, and condemn. So we are doing all those things to ourselves. We are not doing it to the other men, because all men are equal, all are same. There is no strange, there is no difference between the men, isn't it? Remember, we who take arms against each other. Understood? So before you fight with others, you have to remember that it is not fighting with others, we are fighting with ourselves. Okay, because the men are all equal, just like us. They also have the two hands, two legs, eyes, everything. So they are the same men, just like us. So there is no need to fight for anything. Clear? Let us remember. Whenever we are told to hate our brothers, it is ourselves that we shall dispose, betray, condemn. Remember, we who take arms against each other. Clear, children? Now let's see the explanation part. When we hate others, we actually rob, deceive. Deceive means cheating, okay, and condemn our own selves. So we are doing it to ourselves. When we fight against each others, we spoil the purity of our own earth. Okay, the fire and smoke from the weapons of war poison that very air which is everywhere and which we all breathe. Okay, see here, this is what. It is the human earth that we defile. So when you are fighting with others, it is not the people whom we are spoiling, but whom we are spoiling. We are spoiling the own earth, our mother earth we are spoiling. By how we are spoiling? Our hails of fire and dust outrage the innocence, which means when we are fighting, you would have heard about the wars and all, no? When the war is happening, what will happen? They will have this long, like the guns, they will fire and they will just explode bombs and all, and they will create lot of dust and fire everywhere, and this will make the earth angry. Outrage the innocence means the innocence refers to the earth, because the earth is not responsible for any of this. It is the humans who is responsible for this fighting, isn't it? The war. So it is the human earth that we defile. So when we fight, we are not spoiling the humans, but we are spoiling the earth itself. We are defiling it, we are damaging the earth only. So our hails of fire and dust outrage the innocence. So this means, so we are creating a hell of fire and dust out of the war, and it is making the earth very anger. Okay. So of air that is everywhere our own. So what is this? We are also spoiling the air by the dust and fire, the smoke which is coming out of the fire, and it is everywhere. Okay. So air is everywhere, isn't it? It is our own air. Everybody can breathe it, isn't it? Just like us, the men belong to different nation can also breathe the air. So we are spoiling the air also around us. Okay. So what we should do? So we should stop fighting. We should stop the war. And remember, no men are foreign and no country is strange. So in the beginning, he would have told, no men are strange and no countries are foreign. That is the starting line of the poem. So the poet is ending the line by saying, remember, no men are foreign and no countries strange. Understood? See here, the poet says that if we fight with each other, we are only polluting the beautiful earth, okay? And we are creating a fire and dust which is responsible for the pollution of the earth. So, we should learn that no men are foreign and no countries are strange. We should live like brothers and we should not cheat others. Understood, children? I hope you understand this. So now let us see the stanzas from the first. See here. Remember, no men are strange, no countries foreign. Okay, repeat after me. Okay. Remember, no men are strange, no countries foreign. Beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. Beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. Like us, the land our brothers walk upon. Like ours, the land our brothers walk upon is earth like this, in which we all shall lie. Is earth like this, in which we all shall lie. So learn this first stanza. Okay. Now, the second stanza. They, too, aware of sun and air and water. They, too, are aware of sun and air and water, are fed by peaceful harvest, by war's long winter starved, are fed by peaceful harvest, by war's long winter starved. Their hands are ours, and in their lines we read. Their hands are ours, and their lines we read. A labor not different from our own. A labor not different from our own. So the second stanza talks about oneness of efforts. Okay. Now, the third stanza. What is this? Remember, they have eyes like ours that wake. Remember, they have eyes like ours that wake, or sleep and strength that can be won. Okay, or sleep and strength that can be won. By love, in every land is common life. By love, in every land is common life that all can recognize and understand. Okay, that all can recognize and understand. So this stanza shows about oneness of emotions. Okay. Now, what is the fourth stanza? Fourth stanza says, let us remember whenever we are told. So, let us remember whenever we are told to hate our brothers, it is ourselves. Okay, to hate our brothers, it is ourselves that we shall disposes, betray, condemn, that we shall disposes, betray, condemn. Remember, we who take arms against each other. Okay, remember, we who take arms against each other. So, this fourth stanza tells about oneness of hatred. Okay, so for hatred also we should not, yes, do. Now see the fifth one, fifth stanza. So this tells about the oneness of destruction. So what will happen if we fight against each other, isn't it? So oneness of destruction. It is the human earth that we defile. It is the human earth that we defile. Our hails of fire and dust are outrage the innocence. Our hails of fire and dust outrage the innocence. Okay. Of air that is everywhere our own. Of air that is everywhere our own. Remember, no men are foreign and no countries strange. Remember, no men are foreign and no countries change. Okay. So now I hope you understand this poem, children. Now let us see the summary part of this poem. So what you have learned in this poem, you just see here. This poem is based on the idea that we are the children of the same Father God, isn't it? As such, we should believe in the universal brotherhood of man. So we need to believe in the universal brotherhood of man. The earth is the common property of a mankind. Understood? We should not think that we are the citizen of this or that country, because we are the citizen of the world itself. Okay. We should give up feelings of narrow nationalism. What is narrow nationalism? I belong to this country alone. You belong to that country. So me and you are different. No. We should not have that thought itself. No narrow nationalism. We should think that we are the citizens of the world. Okay. In war, all countries suffer, and in peace they prosper. Therefore, if countries suffer and in peace prosper, therefore, if we hate others, we deceive ourselves. So, if we hate others, it is not others who are suffering, it is we who are suffering. Clear? Now, see here the alliteration part. Body breathes. So it starts with the B consonant. Okay, B sound, the consonant sound. Body breathes. Sleep, strength. So just like that, you find some more alliteration from the poem. Okay. So see here, it's a metaphor is there. So these are the figures of speech in the poem. So metaphor is there. So metaphor, beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. Okay, wars long, winter starved. So winter cannot starve, isn't it? So these are all metaphors. So this winter starved is also called as a transferred epithet. So what is the epithet? We have already seen that epithet in the Grumble family poem. We have seen this epithet. Epithet is usage of adjectives, isn't it, in the poem? So here, winter cannot starve, but they have given us starved winter. So it is in the transferred form. So it is called as a transferred epithet. Similarly, peaceful harvest also is a transferred epithet. Okay. And then repetition. Repetition. The word remember is repeated 5 times in the poem. Because the poet wants to insist, he wants to remember. Okay, he was just asking us to remember the importance of being one. Okay, so the oneness, he just want to insist the importance of oneness of man. He want to stop the war. Okay, without war how the man should live. That is why he is just repeating the word remember again and again. Okay, so it is a repetition. The first line and the last line are repeated but in the reverse order. Okay, I told you, no, the first line was, yeah, no men is foreign and no countries, sorry, no men is strange and no countries foreign, isn't it? The last line is just the reverse of the first line. So it is in the reverse order. So these are the possible alliteration, sorry, the figures of speech in the poem. What are they? Alliteration is there, metaphor is there, repetition is there, and then transferred epithet is there. Okay. Understood, children? Yes. So now what you have to do today, learn the poem. Okay, because it is a memory poem, right? So learn it. This is a listening task for you. So what is listening task? So just once again, whatever I have just told you, now I have read you the stanza wise, isn't it? Listen to it carefully and just read it, then write it down in your classwork notebook. Understood? So just like this blanks, you have to write it down. After that, learn the poem and try to fill in the blanks. Understood? You have to fill the gaps. This is one way of memorizing the poem. It's an easy way to memorize your poem. Okay, so do this. Understood, children? So, what is your assignment today? Once again, I remind you, read and understand the poem, then memorize the poem and complete the given post task in your classwork notebook. Understood? Then, after that, you have to learn the appreciation questions and paragraph. Everything you have to complete the poem. Once you are learning one lesson, complete all the question answers in there. That will be easy for you to learn. Okay. So, thank you, children. I hope you enjoyed this class. Have a blessed day.